Hello. This is an intro video for getting into the C programming bootcamp for ISU computer science. Alright, I get to this page here by going to the CS homepage, click on Learn and C programming, or if you don't remember that, you could go to the CS wiki and search for programming. And we're looking at the C programming bootcamp. Alright, so first thing to do is pick something that you're going to look at to learn C. So there's a couple different options here. I'll just say what's good about each one. So this one here is a bit older. You can see 1991, but most of the C language hasn't really changed since then. You would start here, and then you can also go to particular topics. This one, it has exercises where it asks you some questions. It has answers to some of those, and it's suitable. It's written at a level that it should work even if you don't have much programming experience. This is another one here that's written for somebody that doesn't have much programming experience. I would say this one is even at a bit easier reading level. So if you don't have any programming experience, you might start with this one. This one here has a nice summary on the side where you could look up a particular topic, just some quick information about a particular topic. C++.com is where I usually end up if I'm searching for information about a particular function. So if I'm looking for C printf, I usually end up at C++.com. I like their formatting. But then they also have tutorials as well. You want to be looking at, see, this is talking about C++. A lot of it is the same in C and C++. And then there's two courses, one from MIT, one from Cornell, where they have lecture notes and assignments, so you can see what kind of assignments they're giving in those classes. But we'll focus on solving problems from HackerRank. As of 2019, that's what we'll be looking at. So if you click the link, that takes you to HackerRank, and this is a website where you can create an account. So if I'm not logged in, I can still look at these problems. Well, so I can still look at the problems, but I won't be able to use their submission system without creating an account and logging in. So I'll create an account, and then I'll be able to submit problem solutions here as well. Let's look at kind of more interesting problem here. Sure, we'll go with this one, the second problem. There will be some text explaining what the problem is supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, and then there will be a description of what the input looks like and what you're supposed to produce as the output, and then a sample input and output. So this text for this one says that you're going to have two integers that you need to read in, and then you both add and subtract them. So you print out the sum and the difference, and then you have two floating point numbers that you read in, and you need to have the sum and the difference printed out for the floating point numbers as well. There will be a text box here where you could type, and it'll save it for you in your account if you're logged in, and then we could submit that. In this case, this is completely wrong. For more complicated programs, I don't like to use the browser interface they have here. I'd rather make my own file. So I will use my favorite text editor, whatever. I like to use Emacs, and I'm going to make a file. And I'll use a name that is the title of the problem. and then I'll keep track that I'm working on a solution to this problem. Okay, so I'm using a file name that helps me remember, and then I have a note there as well, and I would put my code in here, and as a starting point I'll take the code that they gave me. Okay, and then I want to test it on my own computer. If we go back over here, this is C, and there's lots of different compilers or IDEs you could use. I use GCC, and Emacs is my editor. So for me, then I can do everything text-based. If you like to use Eclipse or Visual Studio or something else, or an in-browser, that's fine. You can do that. So whatever you want to use. I would store the file though somewhere so that you have it, and you can also send it to somebody to look at to get help. Alright, so if we have that as a file, then I'm going to upload that, and I'm going to pause the video so I don't show you my files. Okay, so I have my file selected, it uploads, and that is what I had. So it just copied that in. I can submit that, and it's going to be telling me that it's wrong. So then sometimes it'll tell me exactly what the test input was. So on this sample test input, I got the wrong answer. So that was the input, and I didn't give the right output, so it expected the output to look like this. And it may give us other test cases that it failed that it doesn't show me the answer to. You can look over at your previous submissions. You can look at discussion where people may have discussed problems that they had. But what we would like to do is, if you're a incoming, current, or previous ISU student, we'd like to help you out to get past whatever problems you're having. So if you click on this link, I'm going to click on the link. Okay, so if you click on the link, you come into a login page, and you can use your ISU email address, so at sycamores.indstate.edu for the students, and you can create an account. So create an account, then you would put in your ISU email address, pick a password and your username, and you can see this is all secure. And then this is the place where you can go to ask questions about whatever the problem is that you're having trouble with. And you should refer to the title that they use here. So you can say you're working on this particular, functions in C, that problem, and you can give a link as well. If you're working with your code is in a file, then you can attach that. The interface here is pretty easy to use, but I'm not going to show it because there's student information in there. Okay, so we would like you to get as far as you can through a lot of these problems. So you're going to sort of go back and forth between reading information and then trying out problems, and when you get stuck, you can go ahead on over to the C programming channel in this Mattermost to get some help. You can start off by just going through the problems in order. They're pretty easy at the beginning. Eventually you get bored of that and you are going to jump around to something a bit harder, and we may also post some challenges in this channel to say, hey everybody, let's work on this particular problem. Alright, that is it. Good luck and happy programming.